Now at 10, a U.S. Senator stops by Chanute, Kansas for ribbon cutting of a new indoor conference space. Plus, why an oil refinery in Coffeyville, Kansas is agreeing to pay $23 million in a settlement. And local businesses begin preparations for Black Friday this week.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
The city of Joplin is accepting applications to fill a short-term council seat. This is KOAM News at 10. I'm Elise Snowy. The seat was opened after council member Kate Spencer resigned from her position last week. It will be up for election in April to finish out the 2 years remaining, but in the meantime, someone will be selected to fill it until the election. People can apply at the Joplin City Clerk's office beginning at 8 a.m. tomorrow. The council will decide from the candidates in a December meeting. Chief Meteorologist Doug Ketty joins us with a first look at weather.
Well, it definitely turned out to be a dreary one for us today. On and off showers throughout the day. Of course, these moved in yesterday. Rain last night. Rain through most of the daytime hours today. And our temperatures really didn't go anywhere. 49 for a high. Started at 45, well below our average high of 57 degrees. 75 was a record back on this date. And we still have light showers, which continue to press through. And we're going to see these through the overnight hours. They will start to taper a little bit once we get past midnight. In fact, I'll stop here at 1:30 in the morning. Still, we have showers mainly along and south of I-44, but you can see by 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, most of these are gone. Temperatures, they back down into lower 40s. Here's 8 a.m. We could still get a few more showers on Tuesday. And of course, we're going to look at your travel forecast here in just a bit.
Thanks, Doug. Southeast Kansas has a new conference and workforce training center. U.S. Senator Jerry Moran stopped by at the ribbon cutting of the new Impact Conference Center in Chanute. It features space for 300 seats, soundproof partition rooms, and state-of-the-art audiovisual technology. Officials say the center will help several industries, including health and wellness.
Economic Development Administration in the very early stages of COVID. They had some money available through CARES, economic development money, and so we thought, how can we help our community and also help our hospital grow? And so we put those two things together and created the Southeast Kansas Impact Center.
Well, it's going to have an impact on wellness, on health, on business.
The new center was paid for through grants from the Federal CARES Act. Black Friday is a big time for businesses, big and small, but for some local businesses, it's a chance to gain some ground on the chain stores. We spoke with officials at GameCo in Joplin about how they prepare for Black Friday. They say it's important to focus on the current gaming trends to make sure customers get the deals they're looking for.
We started seeing the car commercials and the Best Buy and those places doing, basically Black Friday from the beginning of November. We were like, man, if we don't do something different, you're trying to wait till the end. I think a lot of people are starting to shop so much earlier, and Black Friday itself is not such a big, important date.
To find out about some Black Friday deals you might not expect, head on over to the money section on our website, KOAMnewsnow.com. While retail sales are expected to soar to new heights over the holidays, the seasonal workforce has taken a nosedive. According to new data, retailers posted the lowest number of seasonal job openings since 2013. Mike Valerio has more.
'Tis the season for sales, but while prices are down this Black Friday week, so is the number of seasonal workers.
A lot of employers now have enough people on staff where they only need a slight uptick in the number of employees that they're going to have for the holiday season.
According to Andy Challenger from outplacement services firm Challenger Gray & Christmas, this year retailers advertised the lowest number of seasonal positions in a decade. Just 2 years ago, retailers hit a record high, nearly 1 million holiday jobs.
During the pandemic years, retailers were seeing unprecedented desire from Americans to buy their products. They were strapped.
Today, numbers have dropped a sharp 40% compared to pandemic times, indicating the type of employees needed for seasonal work has changed.
There has been this massive migration to e-commerce, which really changes the types of workers that companies and retailers need to hire during the holidays.
Glassdoor chief economist Aaron Terraza says it's no longer about face-to-face customer engagement.
Amazon was the only major retailer to announce a big uptick in the number of employees that they're expecting to hire this season.
And while brick and mortar jobs tend to shed holiday hires by January, some seasonal jobs in the e-commerce market may be around for, let's say, an extended season.
Those companies tend to keep seasonal workers on through February, sometimes even March.
In Los Angeles, I'm Mike Valerio.
Cherokee County Sheriff is reminding the community to be vigilant against phone scams. Here are some common scams to look out for. Grandparent scams, where a victim is contacted by someone claiming to be a grandchild. Post office scams, a scammer claiming to be the post office will send you a phishing link asking to confirm information. And Medicare scams, a scammer will say that Medicare is issuing new cards and needs the victim's information for processing. Coffeyville Oil Refinery settles a lawsuit for illegal pollutants. The EPA and Justice Department announced today that Coffeyville Resources Refining and Marketing will pay more than $23 million for violations related to illegal emissions of pollutants from 2015 to 2017. Those pollutants including more than 2,000 tons of sulfur dioxide. Coming up, a rescue plan.
Hopes are high for the possible release of some hostages being held by Hamas in Gaza. I'm Naomi Ruckham with new plans to get more aid to the war-torn region.
Plus, a group of citizens are asking the state auditor to investigate the hiring practices of the city of Carthage. Some residents in Carthage, Missouri are questioning the city administrator's employment. After going through council minutes, Carthage resident Bill Putnam says he realized that the city administrator, Greg Dagnan, does not meet the residential requirements of living within city limits. Dagnan has lived outside of city limits since his time as police chief. However, the city attorney says the city council's action of hiring Dagnan for employment waived the residential requirement. Putnam believes the hiring process is against Carthage's charter because the council didn't vote to waive the requirement.
The person that was the chair of the hiring committee did ask the city attorney, hey, do we need to make two separate votes here since we know Greg lives outside the city? And the city attorney said, no, if you hire the guy, you're pretty much saying that you're okay, that he is qualified and where he lives is fine.
Putnam filed a complaint with the Missouri State Auditor's Office. The Supreme Court has struck down a petition from the former Minneapolis police officer convicted in George Floyd's death. Derek Chauvin lawyers appealed on the basis that Chauvin had not received a fair trial. They claimed jurors in his case may have had a vested interest against acquitting Chauvin out of fear of instigating more violence. But today, the U.S. Supreme Court rejected Chauvin's appeal without comment or recorded vote. The White House says it believes a deal is closer than ever to free hostages currently being held by Hamas, while the head of the World Health Organization said that 12 premature babies rescued from Gaza's Al-Shifa hospital have been flown to Cairo for specialized care. Naomi Ruckham has the latest from New York.
At the conclusion of the annual turkey pardon event at the White House Monday, President Biden sounded hopeful that some of the hostages Hamas is holding may soon be released.
Mr. President, is a hostage deal near? I believe so, but I'm not prepared to talk to you. Believe so? Yes.
Multiple sources told CBS News a deal would likely include the release of 50 hostages.
We're talking about kids and women and old people.
In exchange for Israel pausing the fighting and allowing more humanitarian aid into Gaza, including fuel. As nighttime fell Monday, Israel kept up airstrikes on what it says are Hamas targets in southern Gaza, while Israel's defense systems intercepted rockets over Tel Aviv. As the war rages on, dozens of the premature Palestinian babies who were evacuated from the besieged Al-Shifa hospital in Gaza are now receiving treatment in Egypt.
They are now receiving antibiotics. They are now receiving oxygen. They are now being rewarmed.
Health officials say it will take a long time for many of the infants to recover. Naomi Ruckham, CBS News, New York.
The Hamas-run government media office in Gaza says more than 13,000 Palestinians have been killed in the territory since October 7th. The Israel-Hamas war is top of mind for most U.S. lawmakers, but the Pentagon says the U.S. has to act now to send more monetary and military support to Ukraine. President Biden writing in an op-ed this weekend, quote, "Our commitment to Ukraine today is an investment in our own security. It prevents a border conflict tomorrow," end quote. The Ukraine and U.S. militaries will hold a joint conference in D.C. next month to boost Ukraine's domestic arms production. A little later, high school basketball is right around the corner. We'll see how the Galena Bulldogs are preparing for the upcoming season.
Well, of course, a dreary day for us today, in and out of the rain all day long, but we need the rain. Actually, the past couple of weeks, we haven't even really had a drop. This is the first rain we've had all month in November. Today is November 20th. It's almost a 3-week stretch of nothing, and that is part of the new pattern. So we are going to have these 2-week stretches repeating through the pattern, which kind of stinks, but at least when we get the rain, we need to enjoy it. Of course, that was our Cornell Arts and Entertainment Complex Tower Cam downtown Joplin. All right, 0.2 of an inch of rain in Joplin since midnight, but for the entire storm system, 0.75 of an inch. And that's actually some of the lower amounts, but still that deficit of almost 13 inches. Now, where you see the greens, this is showing us 1 upwards to 3 inches of rain. Now, the lighter blue is under an inch. So really from Chanute, Parsons, Pittsburgh, Columbus, Joplin, Neosho, that's where you guys had the least amounts, but still picked up a 1/2 inch to 1 inch of rain. On the back side of this system now, so the back bands are rotating through. You can see the classic comma shape, any big thunderstorms down across southeastern parts of the U.S., but we're on the back side, so that means on and off light showers as we go through the overnight hours for us tonight. Let's stop at about 1:30 in the morning. You can see most of the showers along and south of I-44. Still drizzle north of that. And then I think most of this gone. 4, 5, 6 o'clock in the morning, we'll start the day into low to mid 40s, but we could still get a couple random showers tomorrow afternoon, which I'll show you here in a second. All right, temperatures cooling down. Most of us are into the mid 40s. It's been kind of breezy. The wind's switching around out of the north, and these are going to stay breezy. In fact, let's go into tomorrow morning. Look at our gusts, 20 to 30, and it stays kind of breezy all day long tomorrow, and then finally the winds start to back down a little bit by the time we get into Wednesday. So we get to dry out just a bit as we head into the next couple days, but we're still going to have mostly cloudy skies for us tomorrow. Now, once we get into the early afternoon, we could see a few little showers trying to pop up. You can see a couple getting going. Southwestern Missouri, even a few flakes of snow trying to mix in. Not a big deal, obviously, but a few showers push through. We clear out tomorrow night. We drop upper 20s, so it's going to be a cold one. And then Wednesday looks good, especially if you're doing some traveling. We're going to be dry, sunshine, high temps, upper 40s. So a few early afternoon showers, high temp 48 for us tomorrow. Wednesday looks good. Let's go into Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving looks good, a lot of clouds, but it still looks nice. Even Black Friday looks pretty good. We do have to watch a storm system as we head into the weekend that may cause us a few travel issues. All right, 48 for us tomorrow. 50 on Wednesday, 58 on Thanksgiving itself, 51 on Friday. Some showers trying to work in late Saturday. Could mix with a little bit of snow on Sunday. We'll keep our eyes on that as we go through the next few days. Elise?
All right, Doug, thanks. This Thanksgiving week, many of us will travel by train, plane, or car to reach our holiday destinations. AAA estimates more than 55 million Americans will travel more than 50 miles. Now, a new rail line linking Miami to Orlando is giving Florida its first taste of the potential for high-speed rail. CBS's Chris Van Cleve is riding the rails in Florida for us.
Thanksgiving week on Florida's Brightline means a milestone, carrying its 5 millionth rider since 2018. The trains that can hit a top speed of 125 miles an hour.
It actually feels like Europe.
Jack Fernandez takes it monthly between Palm Beach and Miami and says he'll never make that drive again.
You can get work done, you can make phone calls.
Brightline built its initial service between West Palm and Miami in about 4 years on an existing freight line. The company also has a near shovel-ready project running along Interstate 15 to link the Los Angeles area with Las Vegas. Brightline Chairman Wes Edens.
Is there a world where the U.S. gets true high-speed rail?
The world's going to get true high-speed rail with our Vegas project, 100%. There are many, many corridors in the United States that would fit this bill where you're going to save people a considerable amount of time.
Transit experts point to success in Europe and Asia as proof that high-speed rail can be successful, linking cities that are about 150 to 400 miles apart. But those projects will require significant public funding.
We will never see high-speed rail without substantial public investment to build it.
The bipartisan infrastructure bill set aside $66 billion for rail. Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg tried Brightline last month.
We're putting our money where our mouth is.
While the nation's fastest trains lag behind those in Europe, Acela moves about 100,000 people daily between Washington, D.C., New York, and Boston. Amtrak's long-term plan, if fully funded, would look to add similar higher-speed corridors throughout the country by 2035.
It's not just about distance, it's really about congestion, because people don't want to be frustrated sitting in their car all day.
The ride to Orlando, about 3.5 hours. You're hard-pressed to do that behind the wheel on a good day. Chris Van Cleve, CBS News, Fort Lauderdale.
Coming up in sports, we take a look at the Galena boys basketball team before their season begins. Plus, a couple of softball players out of Northeast High School are signed up to play at the college level. Brock Balderich has that story and more.
Kansas City Chiefs return home tonight after a long bye week, and now the Chiefs have won the bigger matchups of the NFL season. As Monday Night Football returns once again to Arrowhead. Chiefs versus Eagles tonight, rematch of Super Bowl 57. Man, what a game. Self-inflicted wounds was really the story tonight. Patrick Mahomes throwing the ball for an interception in the end zone. Kelsey fumbling deep in opponent territory. Or MVS dropping a big pass when the Chiefs needed it the most. Anyhow, Philadelphia beats Kansas City 21-17, your final score, as the Chiefs now fall to 7-3 on the season. Well, the Galena boys basketball team is coming off one of their most successful seasons in school history. Galena went into the Kansas Class 3A state tournament with an undefeated record, and now the Bulldogs have to find a way to replace all the production they lost from last year's senior class. The Bulldogs got after it at practice on Monday morning. Galena is aiming for their 5th straight sub-state title. Last season, Galena finished in 4th place in the Class 3A state tournament. The team is getting ready for their jamboree tomorrow night at Northeast Arma High School. With all those senior Bulldogs leaving last year's program, this season could be a work in progress.
I don't know if there's replacing that or not. That's probably the best team we've had in school history over the last 3 or 4 years, but we've got some kids that are working hard. We've got a good group of juniors, a couple seniors that haven't played the last couple of years that came back out. Hopefully things will pay off when it comes time next week when we start playing.
A lot of guys coming up, a lot of people that didn't play much last year, but they worked hard over the summer, and a few new guys, moved in, but mostly the core players that were younger last year are going to step up and play well for us.
Well, the Northeast Arma Vikings have had signing days for back-to-back weeks now for a couple of their softball players. Last week, Shelby Underwood signed with Crowder College, and this week, Lexi Yarnell signs with Independence Community College. Lexi Yarnell has officially signed her letter of intent to play for the Independence Community College Pirates to be part of their softball program as a catcher. And get this, she didn't even start catching until she went into high school. And a lot of that had to do with her teammate, Shelby Underwood, who convinced Lexi to catch for her. Shelby signed with Crowder Community College as a pitcher last Monday. Underwood comes off a season as a junior where she led the Vikings with a 1.24 ERA and 113 strikeouts.
I've always dreamed about this as a little kid, and I want to play at the next level. So the opportunity is a really great job. I'm really excited to play for Crowder also because on my visit there, I loved it, fell in love with it.
I really liked the small town feel of Independence. It reminded me of home, and I really wanted to play at the next level because it's always been a dream of mine since I started playing softball competitively, and it's always just been something I dream of.
Kansas Jayhawks are in Hawaii tonight for the annual Maui Invitational, except this year, instead of the Maui tournament, it's located in Honolulu due to the Maui wildfires that happened over the recent months. The Kansas Jayhawks are going against the hosts of the tournament, the Chaminade Silver Swords. KU had pretty much full control tonight. Kansas wins it 83-56. Hunter Dickinson, 31 points. Kevin McCullough had a triple-double in this game. The Jayhawks will be back at it tomorrow night. They'll face the winner between UCLA and Marquette. Lots of look for sports. We'll be back. More news after this.
People across the 4 states are relying on food banks to have something to eat this holiday season. To help, KOAM today hosted a drop-off event at Ron's Supermarket in Pittsburgh as part of our Feed the 4 States campaign. Folks who wanted to help were able to donate non-perishable food items. Let's check back in with Doug for a final look at the forecast.
All right, the light showers stick around for us tonight. They will start to taper off late tonight into tomorrow morning, but we could pick up a few random showers early tomorrow afternoon. A lot of clouds, high temp 48 down to 28 tomorrow night, so cold. 50 on Wednesday. Thanksgiving itself, not bad. A lot of clouds and a high temperature right around 58 degrees. Elise?
Well, that's not too bad. I got to drive up to Minnesota tomorrow, so
cold.
I'm glad there's no snow and, rain is, pretty low chances. Well, can you believe the Chiefs today?
I mean, tough loss. I mean, this is going to be a really tough one to digest. I mean, like I said, self-inflicted wounds. Chiefs had plenty of opportunities and just didn't cash in at the right time. But quick turnaround this Sunday. They'll be back at it in Las Vegas facing the Raiders. So go from Eagles week back to Raiders week.
All right, sounds good. Thanks, Brock. Well, that's our time for now. We'll see you tomorrow. Thanks for making us part of your night.